So a little less than 2 weeks ago, I made a video on Sprite and whether or not the deck was still good in today's format. So to sum it all up, I basically said that the deck changed drastically, and even though it did get nerfed quite hard, it would still be able to do wonders in the right hands. I also said that I wasn't a really big fan of the pure build because it kind of lacked raw power and the grind game without elf. Now, with that being said, recent tournament results have actually proven to be quite interesting to say for the least. Sprite basically went ham at YCS Lima, Peru, and both first place and second place were Sprite, and funny enough, they had something in common. And by something in common, I'm not referring to both decks had Sprite cards in their deck. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Basically, both of these decks played the Brave Token engine, which I find really interesting. For the longest time, at least in North America, people didn't really like the Brave Token engine in Sprite. I know that in Europe, it wasn't really the same thing, but at least in North America and maybe South America, people preferred pure Sprite. But with people no longer having to play bestial monsters to counter the Tier Elements deck, it actually makes sense that since they can play less hand traps, they're going to be playing another form of engine in their deck. And one thing that I find really interesting again about the Brave Token engine is that it kind of creates some scenarios where some combination of cards are actually really good. For example, Faithful Adventurer and Nimble Angler is really broken because you're going to be discarding the Angler and then special summon Double Beaver and then get your Search, which is basically a free discard, whereas if you had something like a Beaver, it would kind of do nothing. And the winner of the YCS also played a really broken card, which is Testudo Eradnemen. It's easily sendable to the graveyard with Swap Frog because it's an Aqua monster, and then you can revive it back from the graveyard with Double Cross, which again can easily be searched in the deck because it is a Sprite card. So in other words, your engine can get you to a Vanity's Fiend. No wonder he won all his Kashtira matchups. And the thing about Sprite is that the deck is really toolboxy because it has Omni Gates built in the deck in the form of red and carrot. If you're scared of Nibiru, you're going to be turboing out red as soon as you can, and if you're scared of board breakers, you're going to be turboing out carrot as soon as you can. This makes the deck resilient to both board breakers and hand traps as long as you make the correct call. And in a tournament where people have absolutely no idea what the hell you're playing, but you have an idea of what they're playing, you have a huge advantage. And to be fair, that might be the reason why these two players might have done so well. Everybody knew what the foreigners were playing, so either a Kashtira or Naturia Runic, but basically nobody really knew what the locals played. Now, with everything that I've said already, I feel like I still have to explain one more thing. I genuinely do not believe that Sprite is going to be a viable option for the next YCS, which is the 250th, and here's why. It just won a YCS, so the surprise factor is kind of non-existent, and you know that you should actually deck build to beat it. And there's gonna be mirror matches everywhere, which is absolute cancer. The last thing you ever want is a Sprite mirror. There's like little to no skill in it because it's all about what you drew and do you have the right hand trap to beat them. And even if you have a hand trap, they might have the right of Aramesia with like a Nimble Angler, so you lose anyways. But yeah, in conclusion, do not sleep on Sprite, even though, again, I don't really think they're gonna win the next YCS. I still believe that a good player might actually go very far with a deck, and I call that since day one. Anyways, that's all I had for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.